Good morning, friends. Thank you for visiting Oma and Opa's Lifestyle channel. Today, I'm going to make a gumbo. This will be like a beef gumbo. You can have chicken gumbo, shrimp gumbo. You can have a combination of all the above, but this is going to be a beef gumbo because I'm going to use what I got available. So I'm going to use this New York strip and cut it into little pieces. I will saute that in bacon grease. Also, I've got a Hillshire Farm smoked sausage. Now, to me, it's important that whatever you use, andouille or smoked sausage, that it be smoked. That'll add flavor to your gumbo. Okay, so you need to make a roux. That's probably one of the most important steps. I'm going to make my roux out of flour and olive oil. I'm going to use bacon grease to saute my vegetables and my meat. So the other ingredients are going to be beef broth. So I got a nice big jar of beef broth that came from some beef bones that we recently boiled up. We made some dog food out of that. I like tomatoes in my gumbo. A lot of people would say no to that, but it's your gumbo. You make it any way that you want. I also like okra. This is last year's okra out of the garden. I'm going to use about half of this. I'm going to add some jalapeno pepper. Now this in here is pretty hot if you get down and around the seeds and the vein. Now Oma, she don't like it that hot, so I'm not going to use all of this pepper. You use as much as your taste buds can handle. I'm going to use about half of this jalapeno pepper, and I'm going to get the seeds out so it won't be so hot. Jumbo garlic, I'm going to use about 3 cloves worth of that. So that's way too big. Alrighty, now celery, onion, and bell pepper. Probably your traditional recipe says use a green bell pepper, but I don't care what color it is, it's still going to taste good. I'm going to add about a cup's worth of celery, bell peppers, and onion. And then I prefer some carrots. So I'm going to add carrots also to my gumbo. I'm going to use this New York strip steak and this Hillshire smoked sausage as my meat, and I'm going to use a beef broth. You could do chicken and add chicken stock. You could add shrimp and use a shrimp stock. That's up to you and what you prefer. Your spices, slap your mama, Cajun seasoning, salt, pepper, and gumbo filet. A gumbo filet is sassafras leaves, a tablespoon. I'd like to thank you for having come and visited our channel. It helps the channel, it helps Oma and myself if you'll watch the whole video, if you'll like, subscribe. I'm going to cut right this minute, and then I'll come back and we'll start doing the prep.
Okay, so everybody's cut their check except
Well, you can either cancel it, send her another check, because she may never get that. I don't know. Ask her to wait another week. If she don't have it in a week, send her another check. That's her daughter in Ohio. She did not receive her Christmas gift and a little bit of Christmas money that we sent her. We had one returned, which we're going to go resend that today. That was our fault. It didn't pick up the apartment number, so we're going to get that done today. Ask my daughter in Ohio to wait another week. If she hasn't got it, we'll figure out how to resend it completely. Okay, these are the veggies. Turns out I got 2 cups of onion, which is fine with me. I like onion, but a cup, you could have done that, but I did 2, that's fine. I got a cup of 2 colors of bell peppers. So that's 2 small bell peppers. You can use green, use any color that you want. This is a cup of celery, a cup of carrots, diced pretty small. I've got a cup of okra, and then I have equivalent to about 3 cloves of garlic and about a third of a gigantic jalapeno pepper that's been seeded and veined. Now, I'm going to stop right there. I was going to tell you about my daughter in Ohio. See, Gisela had made her a Christmas ornament through the sublimation process. It was beautiful, so that's not made it. It's not about we can't send her another check. We can do that for sure for our Christmas money. But it's just that Gisela put a lot of time in making these ornaments, and I hate that they're lost. But she can remake those too. It's just, time, effort, energy. So that's what that was about. Anyway, we're going to run to the store real quick. When I get back, we'll go ahead and finish our prep. I got to chop up all the meat. Then we got to start making our roux and sauteing our veggies, cooking our meat. Anyway, I'll be back. Okay, friends, we're back from the grocery store. I've got everything prepped. So in this case, I'm using that New York strip because that's what I had. And I'm also using the smoked Hillshire sausage. These are the spices that we'll be using. Bay leaf. 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of thyme, a tablespoon of Cajun seasoning. That's slap your mama. You use any Cajun seasoning that you like. And 1 tablespoon of gumbo filet. That's ground. I really would have preferred something like that thyme right there. I got 3/4 cup of flour, 3/4 cup of peanut oil. You can pour the peanut oil over vegetable oil. I'm going to make the roux. Then I'm going to cook the meat and the sausage, set that aside, and I will saute the onions, celery, carrots, bell peppers, jalapeno, and garlic. I'll put that in near the end of the saute. This is really a little more than a saute. We're going to call it caramelization. So when I get all of that cooked and the roux ready, then we're going to add our beef broth, and probably we'll have to add some of that coals to have more beef broth. So I'm going to go ahead and get started cooking, and as it comes together in the pot and I got my rice on, I'll be back. All right, I didn't have the camera on, so I am sauteing, cooking this sausage. I've got it where I need it. I'm going to put it back in the bowl it came out of because I don't need it yet. got that part done. Get this heat turned back up. Now I'm going to cook. I was telling you about my beer, my Bloody Mary, or maybe it's a bloody dog. I'm unsure what you call it. Homemade tomato juice, some celery salt, some lime juice, and about a half a beer. Quite tasty. And all this cooking and sauteing, I'm doing it in bacon grease. I'll make the roux out of peanut oil. You can use vegetable oil. You can use canola oil. You can use butter. I think I said earlier, traditionally this is a chicken sausage gumbo, and I didn't want to do chicken. And the sausage is normally andouille sausage. I didn't want to do the andouille. Matter of fact, I'm going to say that's because somewhere back in the past I had some andouille sausage and didn't care for it. But I can't swear to that. I'd have to go back, buy some, and try. You don't have to cook it all the way because it's going to cook in the pot. I just want to get it brown on all sides. I cut it up to about, bite size. Something like that. Alright, we're going to add just a little bit more of this bacon grease. And start with the onions. I am going to add a little salt for the onions. Alright, we're going to add these carrots. My cup of celery. I'm going to wait a minute on those bell peppers. Add just a little bit more salt. And add these bell peppers. Y'all know that me and Oma's got these two African grays, and sometimes they're quiet, sometimes they're not. Well, the male bird, he's 30 years old, and he whistles. That's him whistling. Normally, he only does that at supper time, but he's already had his supper. Gray, she just talks up a storm sometimes. Sometimes she gets hung on the same thing. She was hung on jingle bells for the last 2 or 3 weeks. I'm hoping she'll find something else. Yeah, it takes a bit to get this cooked down. Kind of like caramelizing onions. It'll take 20 or 30 minutes. Of course, I'll edit this video to speed up the process. Alma and I, we've been together right at 25 years. So May, coming up here, May 2025 will be our 25th year together. Now, I'm going to add a little Worcestershire sauce to this. Okay. That was probably a teaspoon. The recipe calls for some, and I'm going to add mine right here. When I get near the end of cooking everything, I'll season it to salt and pepper and Worcestershire. I might add some more of that once it all gets together. At this point here, I'm going to add my garlic and this jalapeno pepper. Now, I only used about a third of that big old pepper, and I deveined it, and I got the seeds out of it, because these peppers were pretty doggone hot. They light you up. And the nice thing about gumbo, you make it as hot as you want. But Alma is not a hot fan. And I got my limits on hot. Warm, that's nice. Mildly hot, that's okay too. Don't want to burn the garlic, make it bitter. I'm thinking that's good enough. I'm going to set this aside. So making the roux, you need a whisk, and we want to put this flour in there pretty easy. I don't want to dump it all in at one time is what I'm getting at. While that's warming up, all right, back to it. I'm going to turn this fire down too. So I'm using 3/4 cup of peanut oil and 3/4 cup of flour. And I want to keep stirring this and whisking it until it turns brown, dark brown. Well, now there's where people differ. I don't like it dark brown. I'll show you as we go along here the color. So that color there is still white. I don't know if you're seeing that. Now there, it's getting a little brown. Now that's become brown about the color of gravy. Yeah, you don't want to burn it. That's a big no-no. Now, that's getting darker. And it's thickening up somewhat. Or when I first put it in there, it was very liquidy and very white. Now it's thickening up, getting browner and browner and browner. Now I'm not far from stopping. Like I said, most guys that I've seen or gals that I've seen make a roux, and they really cook it. They cook it down dark brown, and I like it a little north of that. See, we're getting dark brown right in there, but it can get darker. So that's the color that I'm looking for. So I'm going to set this off the stove for just a second. I'm going to add some more beef broth. I don't know, there might be a good tablespoon in there. I'm going to add all that. That was about a tablespoon of that stuff. All right. And I'm going to have to add some more water. All right, I've added 4 cups of water, and I think that's enough. All right, now I need that to boil again. And pretty much at this point, you just add all your ingredients. I'm going to add these spices, bay leaves. You can put 2 large ones. This is 4 medium ones. Teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of ground pepper, teaspoon of thyme, a tablespoon of gumbo filet, and a tablespoon of Cajun spice. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Add my meat. Add my Hillshire sausage. All right, I'm adding my tomatoes. That's 1 jar of tomatoes, or 1 small can of tomatoes. You don't have to put tomato in it unless you want to. All right, now we got the sauteed trinity. That's the onions, the bell peppers, the celery. I add carrots to mine. I just like carrots in any kind of dish. If you make a soup, I like to put carrots in it. Tell you what now, makes a mess. All right. So, I just need this to cook. I'm also going to add my okra. That was about a cup's worth of okra. Some people add more. Some people don't like okra in it. I like about a cup for this much. It means I'll get a bite here and there, but I'm not overwhelmed with the okra. When this gets back to a boil, I'm going to put a lid on it, turn it down to simmer, and just let it cook for 25 or 30 minutes while I'm doing the rice. A bowl of gumbo with some rice, with some green onions cut up on top of it. That's the way I would eat it. And I'll show you all of that here in a bit. So like I said, I'm going to let this cook 20 or 30 minutes. And I'm going to try to clean up the mess that I got. And we'll be back. Hey, we're back. We've got our dishes cleaned up. Our gumbo's ready to eat. I'd like to thank you for having visited our channel. Oma and I appreciate you being here and watching the videos. It helps us if you will like, share, subscribe. Tell somebody about it. Try the gumbo yourself. Modify it to suit you. I'm going to plate it up for you here in just a second. And that'll be the end of this particular video. So hang on. All right, YouTubers. There's the gumbo plated up with our rice and our little scallions and some French bread. It looks awesome. It tasted awesome. I hope you'll try it and enjoy it. Please like and subscribe. Happy New Year!